Hi everyone, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. We're here at the GTS Distribution Come Play Day in Atlanta, 2016, and I'm here with Sarah from Renegade Games. Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I know you brought a game with you. What did you bring today to show us?
I brought The Blood of an Englishman by Dan Cassar, and this is a cute little game about the story of Jack and the Beanstalk.
What's the idea here? Are we both playing as Jack, trying to steal stuff, or...?
So in this game, it's actually a two-player asymmetrical game. One player plays as Jack, and he needs to go and steal the treasure from the giant. And one player plays as a giant who wants to capture Jack by yelling, "Fee, fi, fo, fum."
Okay. I want to play as the giant. Is that okay?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't want you stealing all my precious treasures.
Yeah, I'm nimble and quick, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I think the characters do play differently. Like you said, you're nimble and quick. The giant's a little more slow, right? We each have our own separate objectives that we're trying to complete.
Yeah, and the mechanics really work well with that. So Jack gets 3 small actions on every turn, and they're little things that can move cards around on the board. But the giant only gets 1 action every turn, but it's big movement where lots of cards move or something really important happens.
So if we look here at the table, we can see we've already sort of set things up, and we've pretended that we're a little farther into a game. So this is not quite at the start. As Jack, you're trying to create these beanstalks down here, right? And how does that work? What are you trying to accomplish here?
So in the story, of course, Jack had to grow the beanstalks to be able to get up to the castle to get the treasure. So in the game, you need to add cards to the beanstalk pile in ascending, but not necessarily sequential order. So every card has to be bigger than the last one placed.
Okay.
Once you have 6 cards, then you need to add a treasure to the top of it. That completes that stack. You need all 3 stacks, and they have to have the 3 different treasures on top to win.
And so the cards that we're getting here for this beanstalk, you're pulling from the tableau that we have up here, right?
Yes, but you can only pull from the bottom of the stacks or from the top of the stacks. So you need to be able to rearrange these so that you can get to the cards that you need. So you have 3 actions. You can move cards from the front of a stack to the front of another stack, or from the back of a stack to the front, or you can take cards from the back of the front to go towards your beanstalk.
What about the giant? What do I get to do?
Giant, like I said, gets to do pretty big moves,
Yep.
so he can move 4 cards from the front of a stack to the front of another stack if he wants to, so that's a lot of changing the board.
Right, if I was trying to bury this treasure, I might drop a whole bunch of cards in front of it, for example.
You
right?
could do that, yeah, which is important because the other move that the giant can make is discarding any card on the board, just getting it out of the game, except for treasure. So treasure, you really need to use that big movement of moving all 4 cards to bury it.
What do I need to do to win?
So the giant is not appreciative of this little scoundrel running around in his castle stealing his stuff. So he wants to yell "Fee, fi, fo, fum" and capture Jack. To do that, he needs to get all 4 of those word cards to be connected. So they either need to be 1, 2, 3, they need to all touch, so all 4 of them together, or you need to have all 4 on the bottoms of these stacks. Any one of these 5 stacks, as long as you have all 4 different cards.
They have to be all different, right? Because there's multiple copies of Fum and Fee and Fi, but I need the unique ones to touching all together in one stack or spread across the front.
You got it.
Okay, well maybe, can we go to the table maybe and just do a couple of example turns to see how it works?
Sounds great.
Right.
So we have a pre-set up scenario here, and as Jack, I'm going to take the next turn, and I really want to complete this beanstalk here and get a treasure. I can take from the front of any pile or from the back. So looking at the board, I've got some pretty good options here. I've already got 4 of these. I need 6 plus a treasure, and I get 3 moves on my turn. So I'm going to do 1. That's a 7, so then I need a larger number, so there's a 9 back here, so I'll take that as my second action. And then as my third action, I'm going to take this goose that lays a golden egg. And that is now 1 completed stack, which means I can start on my second stack now.
And you can start with any number. You don't have to start with a 1, right? But I guess the higher up you start, then you're limiting how many more you can ascendingly build up to, right?
Exactly. You have to be a little careful because the giant can remove cards from the game. So if you start too high and you really needed a 7, but the giant's already pulled the 7s out, danger zone.
So like you said, I could move a whole stack of 4 right now if I wanted to. For example, I could take all of these and just drop them on top of this gold treasure, make it a little harder for you to get the treasure there, right?
You could do that, but if you look at this board carefully, there's actually something you could do to win the game right now.
Are you saying I missed something obvious, Sarah? Is that what you're suggesting?
I would never suggest that. But I'm helping you out. So what you need to do to win is either get fee, fi, fo, fum all vertically touching each other within a stack, or you need to have all of them at the
seeing it. I'm catching up to you now.
Great.
So I'm able to move not just 4, I can move less than 4 as well, right?
Yeah, so one of the actions that the giant can do is move 2 individual cards from the front to the front. It's a little dangerous sometimes because the jack player can move 3 cards from front to front, so they can just undo what
reset everything.
Yeah, and then get 1 card ahead. So you only want to use that move if it really makes sense to.
It is making sense to me now because I'm going to move this one to here, and now I have fee, fi, fo, fum.
You got it.
And I win.
Oh, giant beat
Now
me.
we kind of course, set that up. Things go a little quicker. You would have probably seen that that was going to leave me that option. So instead of going for the completion of the beanstalk, which we wanted to illustrate to you, you could have disrupted my fee, fi, fo, fum here potentially by moving cards around, right?
Yeah, so in that case, I probably would have taken a card from the back of the stack and put it on top of here to disrupt what you were doing there, which is great kind of in the middle of the game when I only have 1 stack out there and there's still a lot of cards on the board. But as I keep taking cards off, that gets harder and harder to do.
Right, because my stuff starts getting closer and closer together on all the stacks, I suppose, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
Especially if you're using the move where you can remove cards from the board as well. It starts getting really hard for Jack to manipulate the board. So there's this really nice curve in the game where it starts out easy for Jack and then it gets harder and harder and harder until the giant either just wins or Jack gets really lucky and squeezes it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, I think that's a pretty good overview of how the game works. How long does it typically take to play?
15, 20 minutes. It's a really fast game. If you really want to think it out, because it's completely open information, you could sit there and analyze a lot of the board, but if you're just playing casually, it's going to be pretty quick.
Sure, and is this game available now? Is it coming out soon? When's that?
It's coming out really soon. It's coming out November 23rd. As long as all the shipping works out.
Right.
It's always a thing, yeah, but it'll be out really quickly.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you
Always
so
a
much.
pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Until the next episode, thanks for watching.